Hi, I'm Amanda. Before I tell you my crazy story, please like and subscribe. I was 5 when I realized my parents were famous for all the wrong reasons. They were rich lawyers who were known for defending the bad guys. People in the neighborhood hated us and would leave horrible notes, throw stink bombs, or trash in our driveway almost every day. Ew, someone put cat poop on the doorstep. Just wipe it off, Amanda, and don't disturb us. We're in the middle of something important. You're playing with toys, Mom. Ugh, I feel sick. These are not toys. That's a limited edition Batmobile. Yeah, that's another thing. Mom and Dad were obsessed with collecting action figures and were oddly secretive about it. They even had a secret room where they kept their toy collection, and no one was allowed to enter it. And I was not allowed to tell anyone about their crazy hobby, which I couldn't even if I wanted to because no one at school talked to me. Every time my parents would win a case, kids would drive me crazy with sly comments. Who knew people could stoop so low for money? My dad always said they were creepy. Oh yeah? Did he also tell you that your breath smells like poop? No? Well, then he isn't as honest as you think, because you stink! I hated it, but I wasn't gonna let them tear me down. So I put all my focus into perfecting my art. By 11th grade, I could draw portraits in under 2 minutes. When I won the junior art competition, I begged Mom to take me to a fancy dessert place. But 5 minutes into it, she started getting jittery. Oh my God, I gave birth to a sloth. Could you please hurry up? Jeez, Mom, what's the rush? I'll get brain freeze. There's an auction online for a rare Iron Man figure that I can't miss, so eat faster. I tried, but Mom kept glancing at the phone, and it made me anxious. After a while, she told me to take the bus and just left. At least I could eat in peace now. Just as I was leaving, I saw a girl my age staring at the food displayed in the shop. Hey there, do you want something? Leave me alone. I don't need your charity. The girl pushed me and I fell flat on my butt. Worst celebration ever. The next day in class, the teacher walked in with someone. It was the girl from the dessert shop. Her name was Sophie and she was wearing the same clothes as yesterday. She sat next to me but didn't say a word. She smelled like a blown out match. But later in the cafeteria, she walked up to me with a stern face. Why are you staring at me? And what's that you're making? Oh my God, is that me? Yeah. I just like the background and the light, so no one has ever sketched me before. You're really good. Can I keep it? Of course. Sophie and I got talking, and it turns out she was actually really sweet. She told me her dad worked abroad and she lived with her aunt here. I miss him, but it's not all bad. Well, I live with my parents, and trust me, you're not missing out on anything. We started hanging out, and I was glad to have finally made a friend. One time in class, I'd just gone out to grab something when I saw Sophie going through my art journal. Hey, no one's allowed to see that. You have a whole comic book planned out? You'll get this published, right? No, it's just random scribbling. Well, your call. But I think the world needs to know how talented you are. Sophie's words encouraged me, and I took a week to make some edits before finally submitting it to a big comic publisher. I waited a month, but I got no response. It was a long shot anyway. But then one day, when I got to school, everyone crowded around me like I was a celebrity. Amanda, you did it! Your comic became a hit overnight! They published it! You've got to be kidding me! Apparently, the publishers loved my comic and they wanted to sign a contract with me for $2 million. When I told my parents, they thought I was joking, till they actually saw the contract. I didn't know you could draw like that, Amanda. You would notice if you weren't so busy playing with your toys. After that, my parents started giving me a lot more attention. They got me a new sketching set and would spend hours discussing ideas, which were mostly useless. You should make your own superhero who can make frogs rain from the sky. Imagine having an action figure like that. How cool would that be? Yeah, no thanks. I'll figure out something. But in reality, I was struggling to come up with ideas. With the publishers on my back asking for a new manuscript, the pressure was building. One day, I invited Sophie over to help me out. We brainstormed for hours, but my mind was just blank. I'm tired and starving. Stay here. I'll bring some snacks. I rushed downstairs, but when I came back, Sophie wasn't around. I kept searching for her till I saw her in Mom and Dad's secret room. Whoa, I didn't know you liked superheroes this much. Yeah, it's for inspiration. Come on, let's watch some MSA. Maybe that'll help with ideas. But just as we turned, Sophie's arm hit one of the figures and it crashed loudly. Within seconds, I could hear Mom screaming as she came running. What did you do? Do you know what that's worth? I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't do it You're sorry? Who's going to pay for this? Your dad? Sophie turned red before bursting into tears, and then she left. You can't scream like that at my friend, Mom! Your friend just ruined something precious. That's it. No more bringing friends over. She's literally the only person who talks to me. God, all this over a dumb toy? You guys are the worst! I stormed off to my room and called Sophie to apologize, but she didn't answer. And when she didn't turn up for school the next day, I pulled a few strings and got her home address. And I was stunned to see that she lived in a mansion. Why did she act poor then? Amanda, what are you doing here? I just wanted to check up on you. I didn't know you were so rich. I'm not. My aunt is. Listen, I am so sorry about Mom. My parents get crazy about those action figures. Seriously, they love them more than they love me. Don't ask me why. Wait, those aren't yours? Your parents collect those toys, like kids? Are they crazy? Sophie suddenly burst out laughing, and I felt a bit angry. I know it's weird, but they're not crazy. I just came here to apologize. I'll leave. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that, but look at the bright side. This is the perfect comic book material. I'm sure it wasn't easy growing up with them, so why don't you write about that? I have to agree. My life is kind of like a roller coaster. So use it. Also, do you think we can move past this whole thing? In a heartbeat. I started working on the new comic based on my childhood. I changed the names and made a few things different just so no one would know it was a true story. And when I gave it to the publishers after a month, they loved it and wanted to release it immediately. I was super happy. But then a week later, I came home to find my parents with my manuscript. How did you get that? We have connections. What were you thinking, dragging your parents through the dirt like this? You can't write anything without running it by us. Surely we told you that. 1, no you didn't. And 2, that's ridiculous. Please give that back to me. Nuh-uh. You're talking all about your childhood with your weird parents obsessed with their toys? You can't publish this, do you understand? No, I don't. And also, I don't understand why you'd neglect your own child for dumb toys. And why you won't stop fighting for criminals. Because they pay the big bucks, okay? And we can feed you, afford your expensive school, and art supplies. I don't care about your money. I can make my own. Now please, give me back my drawings. But they simply turned around and left with the manuscript. I spent days searching for it everywhere, except the secret room. After Sophie broke one of their pieces, they'd changed the locks. I was still thinking about how to get in there when the next day at school, Sophie came running, panicked. OMG, Amanda, you've got to see this. She showed me the news about a gang the police were after who smuggled illegal substances worth millions in action figures. I was speechless. Do you think your parents could be involved? I don't know. I know they're weird, but I don't think they're criminals. But they're always so jumpy and secretive about the action figures. Of course they're hiding something. We have to tell the police. Just slow down, will you? I need to think about this. I couldn't just call the cops on my parents. I decided to talk to them about it. But later, when I walked into the room, I saw Mom shredding a bunch of papers that looked like my drawings. Oh my God, what have you done? It took me months to make that. Amanda, listen. No, Mom, you listen to me. I'm done, okay? You will pay for this. I was so mad that I decided to do exactly what Sophie said. Punish my parents. I went to the police station to tell them about the action figures, but chickened out the last minute. But an hour later, the police showed up at our doorstep with Sophie. Sophie, what are you doing? Your parents are liars and crooks, and people need to know that. Isn't that what you wanted too? Amanda, how could you think we're criminals? Let us be the judge of that. Let's start with this one. Please, don't destroy our babies. These are not illegal. You can see the receipts. Mom and Dad kept pleading, but the officers cracked open all the action figures, and they didn't find anything. Are you happy now? All our figures are destroyed because our own daughter doesn't trust us. How can I? You're always so weird about a bunch of toys. So much that you forgot you had a real daughter who needed you. That's not true. And for the last time, These are not just toys. They were the rarest, limited edition collectibles worth a fortune. We didn't want someone to rob us or even ruin them out of spite. There are plenty of people who hate us. That's why we always told you to keep it a secret.
Shut up! How is this possible? You're guilty! I just know it! I won't let you guys get away with it this time!
What do you mean this time?
Your evil parents put my innocent dad in jail and got the real culprit off! And I have to live with my awful aunt who makes me do house chores all day long so I can study in a good school.
Wait, is that why you became my friend? Because you wanted to get back at my parents somehow?
Well, yes, but then I saw how different you were from your family and
that doesn't matter. You still lied to me. And Mom, Dad, is it true? Did you really put her dad in jail?
We don't know who her dad is. We fight so many cases and putting people in jail is what we do.
You guys are heartless. Maybe you're not criminals, but you have committed some pretty big blunders. You've ignored me all my life and never cared about how your jobs or hobbies affected me. You've even destroyed my comic that I worked so hard on. Your comic is in my office. What you saw that day was some useless drawings I found in my drawer. I tried to tell you, but you were so melodramatic, like always. I'll give you that dumb thing back. That doesn't make anything right. And you know what? I'm done with you. All of you. Amanda, don't bother explaining. After that day, I ignored Sophie and stopped talking to my parents. Maybe they started feeling a bit bad because they tried making amends by helping get Sophie's dad out of jail. I was happy for her, but I wasn't ready to forgive my parents yet. Sophie left town soon after, and I didn't hear from her again. I got my manuscript published in a month, and it was even better received than the first one. The money I earned was enough to put me through a good art school, and I left home for good. Soon I got busy with studies and writing a new comic, and a whole year went by. One day, I was at a comic book store when someone tapped on my shoulder. Sophie, it really is you. I'm so happy to see you, Amanda. Sophie, you look so different. What are you doing here? I work here now. We moved to this town after Dad got out, and we're doing well for ourselves. Listen, Amanda, I wanted to call you a long time ago, but I didn't know if you'd talk to me. What I did was wrong. I was angry and foolish, and you didn't deserve that. Dang right I didn't. But who could blame you, honestly? My parents destroyed your family, so I get why you were so angry. Does that mean you're not mad at me? Maybe a little, but not as much. Let's talk more over coffee? Sounds good to me.